Guess it was.
What?
What is
That was funny. Okay, so we are going to do my daily routine, and I like to live stream it so other people can have the resource for meditation, yoga, and martial arts. I'm recovering from an allergic reaction to some laundry detergent, so I may or may not do the martial arts workout. If I do, it's going to be super easy version. Um, Not very sweaty, probably just cardio kickboxing, but still in the format of the high intensity interval training for full body legs, upper body core, but we shall see. Um, and right here I've got some pre-workout and some fresh coffee. So I'm gonna clean up the room. I'm gonna play some motivating philosophical stuff, maybe some music while I clean up the room. And we are going to listen to that while I get the room ready for the meditation. The first thing we're going to do is the meditation on the Buddha. And then we're going to do the short version of the Ashtanga Yoga primary series. I'm going to see real quick what the Buddhist nuns have to say about current events. This looks good.
Yesterday, Geshe Topge was teaching the Rice Link Sutra, and that's
So we'll
what
get started.
we were hearing
Just listen while we
during
get ready.
the time of the inauguration. And I was so happy that we were doing something virtuous at that time. Because the rest of the day and the policies that the new president put forth and is determined to enact and made many executive orders about. Some of those I don't agree with, I think are harmful, like withdrawing from the Paris Climate Change Pact, withdrawing from the World Health Organization, these kind of international things that are very important for harmony in the world, and health in the world. So while Geshe-la was teaching the 12 links of dependent arising, I was thinking, what's going on in Washington, D.C. right now. All the people at the inauguration, making all the executive orders, they don't know anything about the law of karma and its effects. That's something that they don't know about. They don't obviously think about. And I think if they encountered it, many of them would say, I don't believe this anyway, because even in their own religion, there's some version of ethical conduct, and you reap what you sow, and something like that. So I thought, okay, when Geshe-la was talking about the force of ignorance as the first link producing our rebirth, one rebirth after another in samsara, and how deep our ignorance is, that not only do we not understand how things actually exist, and instead actively project an existence on people and phenomena that they don't have. Not only that, but just on a relative conventional level, not knowing about karma and its effects, not taking that into consideration when one decides what to do, and how that just leads to the creation of more and more first links that produce more and more second links and third links, and then you have this whole plethora of um, karma ready to produce new rebirths that are unfortunate rebirths because the actions motivating them were non-virtuous. Yeah. So I thought, that's a real pitiful situation. It's pitiful for the people involved, what ignorance does. And we're not immune from that. Our ignorance starts lots of chains of future rebirth. Hopefully we're doing some that are virtuous, trying to practice the Dharma. But we also have our attachments and anger and resentments, and we create, lots of beginnings to new painful rebirths. So to have compassion, and to really see, I was thinking what the Buddhist Bodhisattvas are trying to do and how revolutionary that is, compared with the stubbornness of our minds. In other words, what they're trying to do in teaching us about emptiness and teaching us about karma and its effects is totally, flipping the way our minds look at things. And that is a big project. And we've signed up to help them do it. Okay, that's part of our role as monastics, as Dharma practitioners, lay practitioners as well, to put, some love, compassion, joy, equanimity, ethical conduct, put that into the main culture and put that into the people that we meet, and encounter. And that's the way to go forward. Yes, you could just throw up your hands and say, look what's happened, and go through the usual laundry list of everything that the MAGA movement is wanting to do that we don't agree with. We could do that and criticize and hate and, get involved in all of that, which just joins the ruckus, doesn't it? And produce more of the above. So this is what is really radical in being a Dharma practitioner, is to respond with compassion, with tolerance, speaking the truth, standing up for ethical conduct, standing up for compassion. So not being a wind, but having, compassion for people who don't think about their future lives. Let alone think about awakening. And so, that's our way of going forward. So not falling into application, not only for this teaching, but for what we're doing, with our lives in a monastery in America right now. Questions or comments about that?
I have to say that this is very helpful, Venerable, in that when I see what's happening in the world, it makes my role in the bigger piece much more focused and much more intentional. It adds a certain level of urgency, not in a tight way, but in a get your act together kind of way. And I try to imagine the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and how they don't ever give up on us, no matter what we're doing.
Yeah.
And to be able to be part of their voluntary truths, to be able to raise the loving and compassionate world. And that our role in this world is becoming more and more evident to me that it matters even more than I thought it did.
Yeah.
So it's bringing my heart more into a level of commitment that I have not ever felt in relationship to the world, to my practice, yes, to this community, yes, to my teacher, yes. But the world's always been somewhat of a rather morphy kind of thing. But to realize that our place in the world does have importance right more than ever.
So a lot of the anger and depression and discouragement I've noticed is because my expectations are unrealistic of sentient beings. And it's really showed me how more I need to reflect on ignorance and the condition that sentient beings are in. I think I really don't fully appreciate how distorted our minds are, and then I expect people to act in a way that's infused with wisdom and compassion and loving kindness, and then I'm shocked and irate when they don't, and it's just like, where is that anger coming from? It's coming from my own deluded expectations. It's not coming from them, and when I focus on them, then it's much more easy for compassion to arise.
Yes.
And it's not all about what I want, what I think is right. It's really about what are other people experiencing right now, and how can I make a positive difference in the situation. But it's so not natural for me to think like that. And so this whole experience has been another wonderful reminder just how much I need to keep working on thought training, and the source of my pain is really my mind. It's not what's going on outside.
For me, what was up after reading a little bit from yesterday is fear comes up. Not so much anger, but there's one of the tech billionaires, Musk, who after his talk in something, I don't know, with all the people, he made the gesture and
Something that looked like a Nazi
a
salute.
Nazi salute, and that just, I mean, that has, yeah, I don't even know what to say. Yeah, that did not work for me. But what you did say is we have to stand up for compassion, so we don't hide in fear, we don't cower, we stand up for what is compassionate, ethical, and it is not that.
Yeah.
It's not that.
So I read about that as well. And of course some people are claiming, well, it wasn't that. And others are saying, which I found interesting and quite believable actually, oh, this, he makes that gesture, others have been making that gesture just to get to the liberals. And I've seen this argument before where people on the right will make hand gestures that maybe have something to do with white nationalism, and then people laugh and say, oh, look how upset the liberals are getting. Look how upset the media is getting. And I find it interesting to think, wow, so I do that? I can think about, there's the little ways we do that in our day-to-day life, but when the political groups that I agree with are in charge, do we do that to the people that don't agree with us? Like, where are the places on that political scale? And I can't necessarily think of anything off the top of my head, but to just remember that we shouldn't be behind in our both personal dialogue and that political, national and global dialogue. Yeah.
And to also realize that intentionally pushing somebody's buttons and then commenting on it is a very good way to mask the real reason why you're doing those productive things, because it is setting forth a certain view. And so it's in a very nice way. Oh, the thing of I'm just joking. Yeah. So, we have to be quite careful about that.
So for the last couple of months, thinking about the next BBC that I would do, I was thinking of talking about boredom. And Venerable Gyatso beat me to it a couple of weeks ago. But I thought his way of talking about it was kind of very humorous and kind of direct and confrontational, like, embrace boredom, make it your friend. So that I could still talk about it, but mine will be more analytical.
This is a follow-up from yesterday. This one bishop from DC, the DC diocese, went online and, well, she was supposed to give a sermon at one of the church services that Trump and Vance and all of them attended. And in it, she, I can't say it because the way she said it, can we show it on, she says it so beautifully, and it was on the front page of the New York Times yesterday. So this is a very good example of not being political, but talking about values. And talking about it from a religious perspective. So it also shows how all of them took it in.
Stressful.
So that's my religious leader, my Buddhist mentor, that I study her teachings for those reasons, because those are her political views. I was just playing the Thubten children, a lady who's a Buddhist nun, whose practice I practice, and she was criticizing Trump and Musk and all them, and giving advice about how meditators and good, compassionate people should deal with this in the next 4 years.
Pikachu says he is ready to meditate.
Yep, Pikachu says it's time to meditate.
Yeah.
So I've got my coffee, my pre-workout, and we're going to begin.
Do we have water?
No,
I think we should have water.
you're right. Excuse me, sir. You can sit here, right next to me. That's why I put that pillow there, just for you. Okay, and we'll begin. Move this away. Okay. So this is the meditation on the Buddha. led by the same ladies that were just speaking about recent events.
We do the practices with this aspiration to be a benefit to beings, not to harm them, to benefit them. And in our understanding, the best benefit is to actually have for beings to be liberated from cyclic existence, and we aim to become Buddhas in order to help beings to be free in this way. So generate those thoughts in your own way. So Venerable Children has laid out this sadhana for us, helping us to generate these various mind states. And she starts by having us think about all of our potential, all the kind of positive qualities that we can develop. Infinite love, compassion, wisdom, skillful means. So imagine what it would feel like to be those qualities. Just let yourself be love, be wisdom, try to feel the expansiveness and peace in your heart, the wisdom that it takes to have this kind heart, to be unencumbered in any way, vast and expansive. Can take in everything that's happening in this world, reaching out to every being, human and otherwise, to benefit each one. So now imagine that these qualities of love, compassion, wisdom, skillful means appear in front of you in the form of Shakyamuni Buddha. So imagine this Buddha in front of you, and the space in front of you made of radiant, transparent light. He's sitting on a throne, above which is an open lotus flower and cushions of the sun and moon discs. This entire visualization is made of radiant, transparent light, but you're imagining a living being with a light body. So you feel yourself in the presence of the Buddha. But Buddha's body is golden in color. He wears the robes of a monastic. His right hand, with the palm down, rests on his right knee, in the earth-touching mudra. And his left hand is in his lap, holding a bowl of nectar. And this nectar is the medicine to cure our afflictions and all of our hindrances. And the Buddha's face is very beautiful. You can look at the Buddha's eyes. He's smiling, his eyes are smiling. He's looking at you with total acceptance. And as he looks at you, he's also encompassing all sentient beings. The Buddha's eyes are very peaceful, long and narrow. His lips are red and his earlobes are long. Imagine rays of light radiating from every pore of the Buddha's body. This golden light going out to all the parts of the universe, touching beings, carrying miniature Buddhas to help beings. And as they complete their work, they dissolve back into the Buddha. The Buddha is surrounded by the entire lineage of spiritual teachers, all the meditational deities, innumerable other Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Arhats, Dakas, Dakinis, Dharma protectors. And at the side, near each spiritual mentor, is an elegant table, and on it are Dharma books. The sounds of the Dharma fill the air. And they're all so happy that we're here doing this together. Imagine their minds just blissful and peaceful, gazing at all sentient beings. So you imagine that actually you are surrounded by all sentient beings in human form. Your mother of this life is on your left. Your father of this life is on your right. Any people you have difficulty with, you imagine in front of you, facing the Buddha, keeping them there for protection. Family and friends are nearby. Countless strangers fill the space around you. And all of us are looking to the Buddha for guidance. So first we need to cultivate a sense of refuge. So we think of all the dangers of cyclic existence. Just think about how things are not secure. We run into dissatisfaction, often dukkha, often. And people, all the beings around us, all the sentient beings around us, are also in the same boat, floundering in cyclic existence. And many of them have not met any kind of teachings that will help them out of this quagmire. So we generate compassion. And now think of the wonderful qualities of the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and generate this sense of confidence in them, in their ability to guide you out of all of these recurring problems. To take refuge, we need causes, this kind of concern, this kind of alarm, fear type, and also this confidence and faith, and the compassion. So it is possible, on the basis of your present life and mind, to free yourself from all of these undesirable experiences. So resolve to explore that possibility to the fullest. Feel great trust and confidence in the three jewels, and open your heart to rely upon them to guide you and others from all of these difficulties of cyclic existence, and bring us to the peace, liberation, full awakening. So as we do these refuge verses, starting here, now we're on the top of page 21, we'll be taking refuge in the Buddha, and we imagine actually leading all of the sentient beings around us and going for refuge. And we visualize white, radiant light flowing from all of the Buddhas, the spiritual mentors, the Bodhisattvas, all of these holy beings flowing into us and all the beings around us. And this light completely purifies all of our destructive karmic imprints and afflictions. And it also brings all the realizations of the path. So put your hands in prayer position. Namo Guruvya. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Dharmaya. Namo Sanghaya. 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 So feel that you've come under the protection of the three jewels. And now we turn our thoughts to others and think about how much we depend on other beings for everything that we have, everything we know, everything we use, everything we enjoy. Our food, clothing, resources of every kind. These come due to the efforts of others. Our knowledge, talents, good qualities, these too are developed due to the kindness of others. And our ability to practice the Dharma certainly depends on others who brought the teachings to us over the millennia by generating realizations in their mind and teaching. So this is a very great kindness, all of these things we want to bring to mind. Our innermost wish is to be free from suffering. And this is the case for everyone else as well. we want to be happy, and all beings want to be happy. And like us, they encounter many difficulties, problems, sufferings, and usually actually their difficulties are more so than our own. Not always, but often. And when we examine our capacity to help beings, we find that we're actually quite limited. And we know from our practice that if we can reduce our anger, our attachment, our ignorance, our various faults, and if we can increase all of our good qualities, we're really going to be in a position to benefit beings. Imagine if we had just this generous heart that gives so easily, takes delight in giving, the kind of ethics that doesn't harm, has that just ingrained fortitude, loving kindness, compassion, wisdom. We'll be in excellent position to help beings by having our good qualities developed. And if we develop them fully, like a Buddha does, then we'll be able to be of the greatest benefit to beings. So we generate this altruistic intention in order to be able to benefit beings most effectively. So as we take refuge and generate bodhicitta, imagine that light is flowing into you from all of these Buddhas and holy beings, and it's flowing into you and all the sentient beings around you. So we're on the top of page 22. I take refuge until I have awakened in the Buddhas, the Dharma, and the Sangha, by the merit I create by engaging in generosity, and the other far-reaching practices may I attain Buddhahood in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I have awakened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, by the merit I create by engaging in generosity, and the other far-reaching practices may I attain Buddhahood in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I have awakened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, by the merit I create by engaging in generosity, and the other far-reaching practices may I attain Buddhahood in order to benefit all sentient beings. So imagine the Buddha is so pleased with your altruistic intention. And a replica emerges from the Buddha, comes to the crown of your head, melts into golden light, flows into you. Feel that you and the Buddha have become inseparable. Feel very close to the Buddha, and allow your mind to be transformed and inspired. Let go of all conceptions you have about yourself. Let go of any self-denigrating thoughts. Let go of the concept of inherent existence and meditate on emptiness. As your heart appears a small Buddha made of light, he radiates the light of wisdom and compassion in all directions throughout the entire universe. And this light transforms all sentient beings into Buddhas, and all environments to pure lands, which are places where all the circumstances are conducive to practicing the Dharma. and generating realizations. So imagine this. You've transformed all sentient beings into Buddhas and all environments into pure lands. In your imagination, well, why hasn't this become a reality? We sentient beings have bias, prejudice, we lack love, compassion, and joy. So now we want to wish ourselves and others to have all of these qualities. So we contemplate the four immeasurables. We do this to reinforce our own felt experience of love, compassion, joy, and equanimity for everyone. Friends, strangers, enemies, relatives, people you don't like, people you don't trust, anyone, everyone. So as we say these four immeasurables, you want to listen to yourself say the words and contemplate as you recite. We'll pause between each of the four. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May all sentient beings be free of suffering and its causes. May all sentient beings not be separated from sorrowless bliss. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free of bias, attachment, and anger. So, in order to achieve what we've just been aspiring towards, we need to purify our negativities, and we need a lot of merit. We need to abandon things and adopt things. So when we do this 7-limb prayer, this encompasses all this abandoning and adopting of things. So we'll pause after each line. And you want to put your hands in the prayer position for this. Reverently I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind. So imagine yourself and all the beings, the sentient beings around you, making prostrations to all the holy beings in front of you in the field of merit, repeatedly prostrating. And present clouds of every type of offering, actual and mentally transformed. So imagine offering everything beautiful to the Buddha and all the holy beings. You can fill the sky with offerings, make it very lovely and beautiful. You can think of flowers and fields and just everything that you love. Offer it to all the holy beings. You can do this repeatedly. I confess all my destructive actions accumulated since beginning this time. So now we do a glance meditation of the four opponent powers. So for this, bring to mind something that you wish to purify, some fault or mistake. Bring it clearly to mind and generate regret for that. And then the other opponent powers are taking refuge in generating bodhicitta, which we're doing in the practice. The practice itself will be the remedial action, but make a determination not to do this action again. rejoice in the virtues of all holy and ordinary beings. So think of common sentient beings like ourselves, the holy beings, and delight and take, rejoice in all of the virtue created by any kind of being. Let go of any jealousy, envy, and just rejoice in the goodness of the world. Use your own life experience. Think of things, people that you want to rejoice. And the next verse. Please remain until cyclic existence ends. So now we offer a double dorje. This symbolizes long life. We offer this to the holy beings. We do this requesting them to live long, to always be a part of our life. And you can do this multiple times in your imagination. And then the next verse. And turn the wheel of Dharma for sentient beings. So again, make this offering. You're offering with both hands this beautiful 1,000-spoke Dharma wheel, golden in color. Offering this to the teachers and the Buddhas to guide you and to continue to teach the Dharma. And then the seventh one. I dedicate all the virtues of myself and others to the Great Awakening. So now we steer these limbs toward full awakening for ourselves and all beings. And now we'll offer the mandala. Here we imagine everything beautiful in the universe, offering it to all the holy beings with the wish that they will continue to teach and guide us and that we can generate realizations in our mind. This ground anointed with perfume, flower strewn Mount Meru, for land, sun, and moon, imagined as a Buddha land and offered to you. May all beings enjoy this pure land. The objects of attachment, aversion, and ignorance, friends, enemies, and strangers, my body, wealth, and enjoyments, I offer these without any sense of loss. Please accept them with pleasure and inspire me and others to be free from the three poisonous attitudes. Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Kamniryatayami. So imagine all the holy beings just delighted, and they receive your offerings. And the offerings melt into light and dissolve into them, and these all absorb into the Buddha's heart. And then immediately he radiates light back to you, filling your body and mind. And this light inspires you to accomplish the path to full awakening. So in order to progress along the path, we need to develop realizations. And in order to do this, we need the inspiration of the lineage of spiritual mentors, especially your principal teacher or your root guru, who is the one who has touched your heart deeply. If you don't have a specific teacher, just think about Shakyamuni Buddha, or maybe you have a connection in your mind with His holiness. And we make this request on page 25. Glorious and precious Rupa, sit upon the lotus and moon seat on my crown, guiding me with your great kindness, Bestow upon me the attainments of your body, speech, and mind. And so then, at this point, you imagine that a replica of your teacher in the aspect of the Buddha emerges from the Buddha in front of you. And it comes to sit on a lotus and moon disc on the crown of your head, facing the same direction as you. So then this Buddha on the crown of your head is going to act as an advocate for you to request inspiration from the entire field of merit as we continue with the request. And we're doing the long one on page 26. Buddha, unequal teacher and guide, venerable protector Maitreya, successor, superior Sangha prophesied by Buddha, to you three Buddhas and Bodhisattvas I make request. Buddha, head of the Shakya clan, the foremost guide, peerless in expounding emptiness, Manjushri, embodiment of the Buddha's complete wisdom, exalted Nagarjuna, best of the superiors who sees the profound meaning, to you three crowning jewels of clear exposition I make request. Atisha, upholder of this great vehicle, who sees the profundity of dependent arising, Drone Rinpoche, elucidator of this good path, to these two ornaments of the world I make request. Avalokiteshvara, great treasure of objectless compassion, Manjushri, masteress flawless wisdom, Tsongkhapa, crown jewel of the snowy land sages, Losangapa, I make request at your feet. Holder of the white lotus, embodiment of all the conqueror's compassion, guide benefiting migrating beings in the land of snow mountains and beyond. Soul deity and refuge, Tenzin Gyatso, at your feet I make request. The eyes to whom the vast scriptures are seen, supreme doors for the fortunate who would cross over to spiritual freedom, illuminators whose wise means vibrate with compassion, to the entire line of spiritual mentors I make request. So imagine all of the figures in the field of merit melting into light and dissolving into you. Into the central figure of the Buddha in front of you. All the Buddhas, the Bodhisattvas, the Arhats, Dakas, the Kimis, Dharma protectors, all of these beings melt into light and dissolve into the central figure of Shakyamuni Buddha. And now Shakyamuni Buddha embodies the three jewels. And this Buddha absorbs into the Buddha on the crown of your head. And then as we recite the Buddha's mantra, try to let your mind be very open and receptive. Imagine this white light flowing into you from the Buddha on the crown of your head. It purifies all your negativities, all your obscurations, and it generates within you the realizations of the stages of the path. So we'll recite the Buddha's mantra together. Tayata Om Mune Mune Maha Mune Soha. 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 Tayata Soha. Tayata Om Mune Mune Mahamunaye 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 Soha. Now, re-establish the visualization of Shakyamuni Buddha above the crown of your head, made of golden, transparent, radiant light, a living being. And this Buddha melts into light and dissolves into you. Your body, speech, and mind become inseparable from those of the Buddha. And then we'll make the dedication prayers, starting on the page that we're on in the sadhana, which is 27. Due to this merit, may we soon attain the awakened state of Guru Buddha, that we may be able to liberate all sentient beings from their suffering. May the precious Bodhi mind, not yet born, arise and grow. May that born have no decline, but increase forevermore.
So this has been the meditation on the Buddha, led by the Tibetan Buddhist nuns, who also led that little talk we listened to before this meditation started. So next we're going to do the short version of the Ashtanga Yoga primary series. And I have to disturb this poor little comfortable guy and move him. But I'm going to put something on while I clean up the room again and move out these pillows. Stop scratching me. I'm going to put on this philosophy music, speeches remixed with some beats. This one's pretty relevant to current events. And we'll begin the yoga in just a minute, so get ready. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world there's room for everyone. The good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful, but we have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with hate, has goose-stepped us into misery and bloodshed. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much, feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violent, and all will be lost. The airplane and the radio have brought us closer together. The very nature of these inventions cries out for the goodness in men, cries out for universal brotherhood, for the unity of us all. Even now, my voice is reaching millions throughout the world. Millions of despairing men, women, and little children, victims of a system that makes men torture and imprison innocent people. To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is but the passing of greed, the bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress. The hate of men will pass, and dictators die, and the power they took from the people will return to the people. So long as men die, liberty will never perish. Soldiers, don't give yourselves to brutes. Men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, or what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men, with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines, you are not cattle, you are men. You have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate, only the unloved hate, the unloved and the unnatural. Soldiers, don't fight for slavery. Fight for liberty. In the 17th chapter of St. Luke it is written, the kingdom of God is within man, not one man nor a group of men, but in all men, in you. You, the people, have the power. The power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world, a decent world, that will give men a chance to work, that will give youth a future, and old age a security. By the promise of these things, brutes have risen to power, but they lie. They do not fulfill that promise. They never will. Dictators free themselves, but they enslave the people. Now let us fight to fulfill that promise. Let us fight to free the world, to do away with national barriers, to do away with greed, with hate and intolerance. Let us fight for a world of reason, a world where science and progress will lead to all men's happiness. Soldiers, in the name of democracy, let us all unite!
I'm going to open the yoga with the opening mantra for the primary Ashtanga yoga series. And when I close, I will close with a mantra. And the opening mantra means thank you to the teachers of the past, present, and future who bring this practice to us because it alleviates the suffering of existence. And they mention how the practice comes to us from the meditators in the jungle. And we will begin here in just a minute. I'm just sipping on some coffee. Changing gears. And I do the yoga because it's a full body workout that's really healthy. And it's said to be the union of the physical and spiritual practices. And at the same time, it prepares the body to meditate comfortably so you can sit in meditation. And I'm a yoga teacher. I've been a yoga teacher for over a decade now. And in spite of this allergic reaction I'm having to a laundry detergent, I'm still practicing, ideally every day, meditation, yoga, martial arts. I might have to scale back the martial arts until I'm totally recovered. But I was telling this story about a famous Buddhist teacher in Tibetan Buddhism who he was asked, what's necessary for somebody to reach enlightenment. And he showed his student his bare behind. He showed his ass to his student because he had all these crazy calluses from sitting down for years and years. And I will not show you my ass, but it is also affected by this whole body rash that I've had from the allergic reaction. And it's uncomfortable, but I'm still sitting still and doing the meditation, and I'm still stretching and doing the yoga and working out. So I encourage you to develop that kind of discipline in your own daily practice so that you can practice through any kind of adversity, any kind of difficulty, so you don't lose the progress that you worked so hard for. And on that note, we'll go ahead and begin. I've got some pre-workout here for doing the workout later. I've been drinking the coffee for doing the yoga now, and we have some water for afterwards. Vande Gurunam Charanarvinde Sandarshita Svatma Sukhavabode Nirshe Se Jangalikaya Mane Samsara Hala Hala Mohashantiye Abahu Purushakaram Shankasakra Siddhardinam Sahasra Shirasam Shwetam Pranamami Patanjalim And we will begin.
Hinduism speaks of the Godhead as, uses the word Brahman. This is a neuter form in Sanskrit from the root Bri, which means to grow, to expand, to swell. Translated, you're it. Or that. That. Tuam. Latin. Tuam. You. Asi. You are that. That thou art. Tat. Of course, is first word uttered by a baby.
We sit.
Sometimes life is like this dark tunnel. You can't always see the light at the end of the tunnel, but if you just keep moving, you will come to a better place. Just keep moving. You will come to a better place. Just keep moving. You will come to a better place. It's important to draw wisdom from many different places. If we take it from only one place, it becomes rigid and still. Understanding others, the other elements, and the other nation will help you become whole. It is usually best to admit mistakes when they occur, and to seek to restore honor. Perfection and power are overrated. I think you are very wise to choose happiness and love. Sometimes life is like this dark tunnel. You can't always see the light at the end of the tunnel, but if you just keep moving, you will come to a better place. Just keep moving. it's difficult for us because of that cultural heritage to accept, to accommodate our common sense to the idea that the web might basically be playful. And it might be like somebody saying, won't you come and play with me? Child. And the other child might have some hesitation. I don't know that I ought to play with you if you come from the wrong side of the track. I don't feel like playing today. I feel serious. I don't think play is important. We ought to do something real, like wash the dishes for mother, who incidentally has forgotten that the whole point of washing the dishes is playful. Arranging the atoms of life is playful. You don't wash the dishes for a serious reason. You like the table to look nice, you don't want to serve up the dishes, the dinner with all the leavings of breakfast still lying on them. So why do you want the table to look nice? Well, again, it's for nice. You like the pattern of it that way. People get terribly compulsive about doing these things. And they think that going on arranging the patterns of life is something that's a duty. That means a debt. That you owe it to yourself or to your family or to someone or other. You're in debt. See, that's the trouble. When a child comes into the world, the parents play an awful game on it. Instead of being honest, they say, we've made such great sacrifices for you. Here we are, we've supported you, we've paid for your education, and you're an ungrateful little bastard. And the child feels terribly guilty because what we do is we build into every human being the idea that existence is guilt. Arranging the patterns of life. They're hoaxes, and they say that guilt is ontological. If you're not feeling guilty, you're not human. That was because Papa and Mama said, look at all the trouble you've caused us. You shouldn't dare to exist. You have no rights, but maybe we'll give you some out of the generosity of our hearts so that you're permanently indebted to us. And so everybody goes around with that sort of thing in their background, unless they have different kinds of papas and mamas who didn't dare to. And if they don't do it, somebody else does it. And he comes down and says, you don't realize what your father and mother have done to you. Do you think you're going to stay around here and prove off? But they've sweated blood to give you your clothes and food and so on, and you ought to be grateful for it. But that's not the way to make people grateful. They won't be grateful that way. They'll imitate gratefulness. They'll put on a big show and say, oh, thank you so much. I feel so indebted to you, and so on and so forth, and they'll make it look good. That isn't real. That isn't real. Because, actually, one's father and mother had a great deal of fun bringing you into being, or we hope they did. And they wanted to do that the worst way. They have no reason to complain about all these things and try and make the children feel guilty. Playful. Arranging the patterns of life. Playful. Arranging the patterns of life. I choose to think this way in the store and on the freeway, fine. Lots of us do. Except thinking this way tends to be so easy and automatic that it doesn't have to be a choice. It is my natural default setting. It's the automatic way that I experience the boring, frustrating, crowded parts of adult life when I'm operating on the automatic, unconscious belief that I am the center of the world and that my immediate needs and feelings are what should determine the world's priorities. The thing is that, of course, there are totally different ways to think about these kinds of situations. In this traffic, all these vehicles stuck and idling in my way, it's not impossible that some of these people in SUVs have been in horrible auto accidents in the past. I now find driving so terrifying that the therapist has all but ordered them to get a huge, heavy SUV so they can feel safe enough to drive. Or that the Hummer that just cut me off is maybe being driven by a father whose little child is hurt or sick in the seat next to him, and he's trying to get this kid to the hospital. And he's in a way bigger, more legitimate hurry than I am. It is actually I who am in his way. Or I can choose to force myself to consider the likelihood that everyone else in the supermarket's checkout line is just as bored and frustrated as I am. And that some of these people probably have much harder, more tedious or painful lives than I do. Again, please don't think I'm giving you moral advice, or that I'm saying you're supposed to think this way, or that anyone expects you to just automatically do it. Because it's hard. It takes will and effort. Do it. Because it's hard. It takes will and effort. And if you were like me, some days you won't be able to do it. Or you just flat out won't want to. But most days, if you're aware enough to give yourself a choice, you can choose to look differently at this fat, dead-eyed, over-made-up lady who just screamed at her kid in the checkout line. Maybe she's not usually like this. Maybe she's been up 3 straight nights holding the hand of her husband who's dying of bone cancer. Or maybe this very lady is the low-wage clerk at the motor vehicle department who just yesterday helped her spouse resolve a horrific, infuriating red tape problem through some small act of bureaucratic kindness. Of course, none of this is likely, but it's also not impossible. It just depends what you want to consider. If you're automatically sure that you know what reality is and who and what is really important, if you want to operate under default setting, then you, like me, probably won't consider possibilities that aren't annoying and miserable. And miserable. But if you really learn how to think, how to pay attention, then you will know you have other options. Do it. Because it's hard. It takes will and effort. Do it. Because it's hard. It takes will and effort. It will actually be within your power to experience a crowded, hot, slow, that lit the stars. Love, fellowship, the mystical oneness of all things deep down. On fire, the same force that lit the stars. Love, fellowship, the mystical oneness of all things deep down. Not that that mystical stuff's necessarily true. The only thing that's capital T true is that you get to decide how you're going to try to see it. On fire, the same force that lit the stars. Love, fellowship, the mystical oneness of all things deep down. On fire, the same force that lit the stars. Love, fellowship, the mystical oneness of all things deep down. The same force that lit the stars. In spite of my nature boy thrust in most contexts, I'm very interested in virtual reality and the idea of making the imagination explicit or interiorizing the exterior world. One vision that I've had of the kind of future utopia is it opens on a world which looks like our world of 10,000 years ago. People live tribally, they are physically perfect, they are naked, they want for nothing, they appear to have no material culture whatsoever. Then when you shift your point of view so that you're inside one of these people's heads, you discover that when they close their eyes, there are menus hanging in space in front of them. And by glancing at these menus with a certain intensity, they are able to make their way into a culture that is entirely three-dimensionally present for them, but which nowhere impinges on the world of three-dimensional space. Sort of the idea that you could have the Vatican Library installed optionally when you have dental work. I don't think this is that far-fetched. I mean, a lot of money is going toward this. Money can be made from this. We have to figure out, unless we're ready to, hang the rascals, then we're going to have to figure out some way to make money out of saving the world, saving the world, saving the world. We're going to have to figure out some way to make money out of saving the world, saving the world, saving the world. And I think these entertainment technologies are the way to go. I think that what we should all be trading in 15 or 20 years from now is ideas. And ideas should be worth more than anything.
fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me and through me. And when it has gone past, I will turn the inner eye to see its path. Where the fear has gone, there will be nothing. Only I will remain. I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me and through me. And when it has gone past, I will turn the inner eye to see its path. Where the fear has gone, there will be nothing. Only I will remain. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Pain. Pain. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Pain. Pain. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Pain. Pain. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Pain. Pain. You've heard of animals chewing off a leg to escape a trap? That's an animal kind of trick. A human would remain in the trap, endure the pain, feigning death that he might kill the trapper and remove a threat to his kind. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? To determine if you're human. Be silent. It burns. Silence. His world emptied of everything except the hand immersed in agony. He thought he could feel skin curling black on that agonized hand, the flesh crisping and dropping away until only charred bones remained. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Pain. Pain. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Pain. Pain. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Pain. Pain. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Pain. Pain. It stopped, as though a switch had been turned off. The pain stopped. Enough. Take your hand from the box, young human, and look at it. He jerked his hand from the box, stared at it astonished. Not a mark. No sign of agony on the flesh. He held up the hand, turned it, flexed the fingers. Pain, she sniffed. A human can override any nerve in the body. Ever sift sand through a screen? We've been a Jesuit sift people to find the humans. Paul felt that he had been infected with terrible purpose. He did not know yet what the terrible purpose was. Why do you test for humans? To set you free. To set you free.
So that's the Ashtanga Yoga primary series, the short version. And I'm going to close with the closing mantra and take a quick break. And then I may or may not continue with the martial arts workout, depending on how I feel, because I have to get back to work. But the closing mantra means, good luck to those who lead with compassion and wisdom. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. Peace, peace, perfect peace. Om. Swasti prajabhyaha palipalayantam Nayena margena mahimahisha Go Ramanebhyaha palipala shumamatsu nityam Lokaha samasta sukhino bhavantu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
De-emphasize anxiety. Reassure people. You need people to say, I'm really scared. I'm scared about my job. I'm scared. Don't worry. You don't know enough to worry. That's God's truth. Who do you think you are that you should worry, for crying out loud? Don't worry. That's God's truth. It's a total waste of time. It presupposes such a knowledge of the situation that it is in fact a form of hubris. What you do is just pay your bills and, pack, eat if you need to, and don't worry. That's all. Worry is praying to the devil. Worry is betting against yourself. Li Yang, a great Chinese Taoist who wrote many, many commentaries on the I Ching. He was asked at the end of his life what was his conclusion of a life of studying the I Ching. He said, worry is preposterous. That was it. Don't worry. You don't know enough to worry. That's God's truth. Who do you think you are that you should worry, for crying out loud? Don't worry. That's God's truth. You don't know enough to worry. That's God's truth. Who do you think you are that you should worry, for crying out loud? Don't worry. That's God's truth. Worry is preposterous. Don't worry. Worry is preposterous. That's God's truth. That's God's truth.
So I'm going to end the live stream now because I need to get to work. Need to get back to work. But normally I do the martial arts routine, but I'm dealing with a couple of things. So I'll be back tomorrow, and hopefully when I'm 100% healed, I can do all 3 parts of the routine, and then I'll slowly increase the time so that I'm doing more of each thing and do like supersets. But the whole routine should take 90 minutes to 2 hours, and when I do the full version, it can take much longer, and that'll be like every few days or once a week or every other day we'll do the long version. So thank you for watching. Please develop your own daily routine and check out the teachings of the Shravasti Abbey, the Tibetan Buddhist nuns in Washington State. They have a YouTube channel, and we played some of their talk at the beginning of this video, and I'll be referring to them on a daily basis when we do the meditation. So thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.